All righty. Welcome back to the J Center pod. And Jesse, what can you do but just put a smile on your face and give yourself a nice little chuckle after that? Uh, what's the word I want to use? What I need an adjective. Do you have any for me? Bad, putrid, disgusting, awful, terrible series that the Blue Jays just played against the Rockies?
Yeah, I choose to go with humbling, maybe in a way,
Yeah.
especially coming after that opening series where the Blue Jays looked unbelievable against the A's. To just get a little humbled a little bit, see the flaws maybe start to develop in this Toronto Blue Jays team as the Colorado Rockies ultimately take 2 out of 3 against our Blue Jays here.
Yeah, they were never gonna go 162-0, but you thought maybe like they could like win a series against the Colorado Rockies, a team that won like 40 something games last year, like a historically awful team. And like give the Rockies some credit. They didn't look bad. They came to Toronto and I think the take I want to get off my chest is playing the bad teams early in the season is not good because they're not miserable yet. They have not been beaten down and destroyed, and they don't have any injuries, and they're not going through the grind of 162. Like it still means something for these guys, and like they still have a chance. And even if they never actually will have a chance to win anything, like this Rockies team is not going to make the playoffs. I can guarantee that. And but at this point, it's not over for them yet. You know what I'm trying to say?
I do. I'm picking up what you're putting down, right? They still have that optimism from spring training coming in here. And even though they did get swept by the Marlins in the first series, they lost all 3 games by 1 run. So they probably felt pretty good about themselves that they were still playing okay. Getting that big win for the Rockies in Game 1 probably helped them set the tone to think, hey, we can do this. Big win for them coming into our dome to take 2 out of 3 against the reigning American League champions. Rockies got to feel good about that. But ultimately, for as good as the Rockies might feel, it's a really bad look for our Toronto Blue Jays here, as they really did show some of their flaws in this series. But I like that
Yeah,
take.
a pretty like a really bad series from the Blue Jays. Like, so they're gonna fall to 4-2. Not the end of the world. Like we've seen all the AL East teams lose games at this point. Like it's okay. You're not gonna lose the division in at this point in the season. Like it's April 1st. We're all good. Like we're not gonna overreact to anything we've seen so far.
Oh yeah.
But
Mhm.
it's just a frustrating like it should be free wins on the schedule, and you got an easy schedule early. This is the time to be banking wins, and you didn't do that. Okay, so like losing 14-5 when your starting pitcher goes down in the second inning or third inning or whatever it was, like I can be okay with that. It was the like losing 2-1 in extras and no hitting today that one was really frustrating. Like wasting an awesome start from Kevin Gosman. That one hurt.
Mhm. And we'll get into all the specifics of the series in a moment here. I just want to point out too, some people might forget the Rockies did sweep the Dodgers at one point last season in LA. And of course, the Dodgers ended up becoming World Series champions. So this is baseball. This will happen. I know people don't really like to hear that. They want to get angry. They want to get mean about how this team has made them feel over the last few days. And we will get into that, I know. But stuff like this just happens over the long grind of 162. And the Blue Jays are still in a good spot. The White Sox are coming up next. We have a chance to win that series. And at worst, if we do start this big 9-game trip against some pretty subpar teams, 5-3, maybe even, or 6-3, maybe even 7-2 is still a good spot to go. So I like it.
Yeah, as Chris is the chat, 4-2 is a 100 win pace. That's one way to look at it. Maybe not maybe
Yeah.
not the way
The
I'd look
math is
at
mathing
it.
there. I like that.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's not the way I'd be looking at it right now. Uh, but yeah, like you still have a chance to go in and play the Chicago White Sox. But again, like that's another really bad team that still has hope. They're going to be juiced up. It's going to be their home opener, and it's going to be freezing
Mhm.
cold, and like just bad vibes going into that series as well. So I don't know. There's just not a lot for me to be positive about coming off of that series, and like maybe it's just me, and like we're recording this, we're going live right after a really bad loss, so maybe that has something to do with
Mhm.
it. But yeah,
Emotions are high. I think objectively we'll look back at this a little bit while and be like, okay, a little small blip, or maybe the Rockies will surprise us and be better than expected this year. Who knows how it goes? But there were definitely still some positives coming out of this series, even though it doesn't feel that way at this moment. The Blue Jays still got some pretty good starting pitching at certain times. The Blue Jays still got some of their relievers pitching all right. There were a few good things, got a couple stolen bases. Jesus Sanchez looks really good. Like there were still some positives that we can take out of this going forward into that White Sox series.
all right. What's the number one positive you're gonna take away right now?
I want to throw some shout out and some love to Max Scherzer, who I wish the Blue Jays would have come back and won this game so we could be on this pod here, like getting all shaky, getting all antsy, just like Max Scherzer was in the dugout before coming into the game here today. But the Blue Jays bullpen was in a very rough spot coming out of game one of this series, where Cody Ponce got hurt, unfortunately, and we'll touch on that later. The Blue Jays really needed some length from Max Scherzer, and he was able to come out and deliver. He threw, I think, like 75% strikes, something around that number in this appearance. Went pretty deep into the game, gave the Blue Jays a chance to win in the one game they actually did win. So for a guy who's 41 years old, and you never really know what you're going to get out of a guy who's that old, even if it is Max Scherzer, it was very good to see and gave the Blue Jays what they needed to win that game.
Yeah, so you and I were both in the building for that game, and to me, like, he didn't really look that good. Like, he wasn't really missing a lot of bats, but he was getting enough soft contact to get the job done. He only walked one and struck out four. So, like, whenever he's going to do that, like, if I could sign up for like one type of start for Max Scherzer for the rest of the season, it would be that one. Like, that was exactly what you're hoping for him to do. He's your fifth starter. You're hoping he keeps you in a game, right? Like, this guy you didn't sign until like spring training was already started. So to ask for anything more than that would just be so selfish. He looked like really good, very, very impressive results, good results. And I think when you're Max Scherzer and you got your ticket punched to the Hall of Fame already, and you're pitching at like what is almost 42 years old, all you need to look at is results. I don't think process matters with him at all.
Yeah.
Like,
we're not really looking too hard to see if the velocity is up or, he's got extra spin on that curveball. As long as he's getting the results, I agree with you. That's what matters.
Yeah, I'm not digging through his Savant page to be like, oh, it's a little bit more blue than I don't care. Like, I want to see, like, literally the only stat that counts for him is how many runs did you give up and how many innings did you pitch. That's all that I care about with Max.
Yeah, and like until we see a dramatic drop off in stuff or something where the point he becomes unplayable, then sure, maybe we'll look at that. But that hasn't happened, and there were no signs coming out of this game from Max Scherzer. Look, he's going to safely get another start for this team. And then I think his next one actually comes against, he'll have Minnesota, then the Dodgers. So, two more starts then, and he'll be locked into those. And, if he pitches like that, he's better than most number 5 starters all across Major League Baseball. And the Blue Jays will be very happy to have that.
Actually, his next start will be against the Dodgers. Max Scherzer versus Shohei Ohtani, April 6th.
Right. Yes. Dodgers, then Minnesota. I had the schedule backwards.
Yeah. It's okay, though. Yeah, like really, really good stuff from Max. What, like, do you want to do all the positive stuff now? Get it out of the way and just be miserable for like 20 minutes at the end?
I think we'll let the live YouTube crowd come in here a little bit once we got this build up. Let them decompress too. We'll get all the good stuff out of the way so we can soak in the misery with the rest of the audience here. So let's do that.
I like that. Okay, so if we're gonna do positives, we have to do Kevin Gausman because, man, he was really, really good today, and that's what's the most frustrating. Like, if you had lost this game 9-1, I wouldn't have cared. Like obviously it would have been upsetting and frustrating, but this game was more frustrating than the first game of the series where you lost by 9. It was 14-5 because Kevin Gausman did everything he needed to do to pick up a W, and he is still going to be 0-0 on the season because the offense just has been unwilling to score runs for him. 6 innings pitched, only 2 hits, 10 strikeouts, still has not walked a batter on the season. He's up to, like, it's back-to-back starts with double-digit Ks. Like, really, really good. What else do you want to see from Kevin Gausman other than that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm almost worried. Is he peaking too early or something like that? Like, geez, Gausman, you got a long stretch of games that you got to go through here after pitching a lot last season. I did notice for Gausman, too, he threw that slider quite early and quite often in this game. I think he back-to-backed it once against Hunter Goodman, which is something I hadn't seen Kevin Gausman do in a long time. And then he got into the second half of the game. He kind of put it back on the shelf and went fastball splitter and had some great results with that. He had 19 whiffs in this start, including 11 on the splitter, 6 more on that 4-seam fastball. Like, very good stuff from Kevin Gausman. The command has been excellent for him. He's doing absolutely everything you want to see your number 1 pitcher do. And yeah, sure, not the best lineup against the Rockies, but not every Blue Jays pitcher had that success against the Rockies. So credit to Kevin Gausman doing exactly what you need him to do.
Yeah, it was more of like a bigger, slower slider. Like, it was 1.5 miles slower than it was. I don't know if this is from his first start or from last season. I'm assuming his first start, actually. But he got like a few whiffs on it. And I liked that he used it early and maybe not in like the biggest situations when he's like, I need to swing and miss, and he's on my fastball and my splitter. Because we see Kevin getting late into games a lot of times. And I kind of find that he's like, oh, like, so this guy's now my 3rd time seeing this hitter. I can't get my fastball by him anymore. I can't get my splitter under the zone and him swinging at it. I have to go to the slider, and the slider's just clearly not one of his better pitches. He doesn't spin the ball that well. So when he uses it early, kind of puts it in the minds of hitters.
Yeah.
I think it helped him use his fastball at the bottom of the zone later on in the game, and he was good, man. He had a really, really good start.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's Kevin Gausman who came out with that or if that's Pete Walker and company, but I agree. It just gives that hitter something else to think about. And even if you know he's not going to throw the slider again, if you think maybe, just maybe, that'll have some horizontal movement to it, you can't square up the splitter or the fastball as much as well. And instead of hitting a line drive, you hit a little soft pop-up or soft ground ball. And it just goes that pitching is always evolving, and Kevin Gausman is no exception.
Yeah, he threw that slider 22 times the first time through the order. So threw it a ton. And then only 8 times the second time through. Really fun.
Yeah.
That's cool. I kind of like that.
Perfect. And
yeah,
I think we're going to see that going forward from Kevin Gausman too as well, until at least other teams show that they can start ambushing the slider early in counts.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, what else was positive? I guess Jesus Sanchez, and then they're kind of at the end of the list.
Well, I do want to throw some love to some of the Blue Jays hitters who did have some big games after the game was out of hand in game 1. We did see Davis Schneider get his first home run. We saw Andres Jimenez hit a home run. We saw Kazuma Okamoto hit another home run, which we will touch on later in this episode. But yeah, I do want to talk Jesus Sanchez here, who very surprisingly got the start against the left-hander in game 3 of the series. I kind of want your thoughts on that as well. But I think maybe it was just the production he had been hitting. He had been doing okay, whereas like Addison Barger and Nathan Lucas, not so much. So maybe John Schneider really was going with whoever was the hot hand here. And look, he didn't have the best of games today, but he hit a deep fly ball at the warning track. He got hit by a pitch. That's all right. We'll take it. What are your thoughts on Jesus?
He's productive. He's been good. Like I haven't seen anything that's like, oh my God, like this guy needs to play every day. But he's been good enough, and he's actually hit the ball hard. And the thing I've liked the most is his approach. Like he's only got 2 strikeouts, and this is a guy that's like, he's got crazy power, but he's going to swing and miss a lot. Like that's how he's advertised to us. And like he's 2 walks and 2 strikeouts at this point in the season. Like, and you'll take it that if he's going to walk as much as he's going to strike out. Obviously, like we don't even have to say it. It's April 1st, but like non-existent sample size. But that's the kind of thing that you want to see him doing. He's been good in good spots, like 4 RBIs already in the season, and he's 6 for 15. So keep doing what you're doing, Jesus Sanchez. And I think that kind of turns us into like he got the start over against the lefty over Addison Barger, which is that kind of crazy? Yeah. Like, is that just a really short leash from John Schneider?
Yeah, so that caught my attention here as well, because Addison Barger, doesn't have a hit yet on the season. Some of his at-bats look way better than others. His at-bat today was quite dreadful, I will say. But he has had a couple at-bats where he's just missed some big ones. He's hit some balls hard that have gone at guys. I thought it was odd going with Jesus Sanchez in this spot today too, because the plan coming out of camp was he's not going to face many lefties whatsoever. I don't think they were putting him in the highest likelihood to succeed, if you will. Maybe they just liked the high bat speed against a guy like Kyle Freeland, and maybe the swing planes lined up or something like that. Might have to do more research on that, but I thought that was odd, and I'd be very curious to see what the Blue Jays do next time when they are facing a left-handed pitcher.
I would think so too. I want to see Addison Barger kind of get like the plane off the ground a little bit first, because like you said, like Barger's just missing some big swings, but like he's got like a 0.78 expected batting average, an 0.90 expected slug. Like
bad chases too from Barger, like swinging a lot of pitches out of the zone.
Yeah, he's got a 43% chase percentage at this point. He really, really bad start from Addison Barger, and like. This is a guy that is really important to this team. Like when you're going to give up Bo Bichette and let him walk, that's with the thought in mind that Addison Barger needs to take a step. And it's not just on Barger. It's on guys like Varsho as well. And it's on Kazuma Okamoto, who is like the 1-to-1 replacement, I guess, if we're going to say that, which is obviously not 100% true. It's not a 1-to-1 replacement, but it's on more than one guy. But Addison Barger has really just not been holding up his end of the bargain at this point. Like he's 0 for 13. He doesn't have a hit.
Right. Yeah. Bad. I didn't think I'd have Addison Barger as the last guy on the Blue Jays roster to not have a hit coming into this season. But Addison Barger also too has always been a very streaky hitter. Like I remember he got really hot in like June last year where he hit a ton of home runs, and he kind of cooled off in the second half. And then he got really hot again in the postseason, really hot so far this spring. And now, hey, he's just going through one of these cold stretches. I do think he will turn it around. I do think he will get there. And when that is happening, he will be a very, very important part of this Toronto Blue Jays offense. But he's not right now. And I wonder if John Schneider, too, is taking him away from playing time, isn't really going to give him that opportunity to get hot right away. Because we've seen it. When Barger's going, he can carry the offense for on his own for a week.
I think so, too. So I don't mind him getting to sit against a lefty today. I don't mind that at all. But why did he not get the start against Feldner last night?
Yeah, that seemed odd.
I don't know. It just seems like the leash was really short, and I get it. He's been bad. The at-bats been bad. He's swinging and missing a ton. He's taking bad. There's no other way to say it other than bad at-bats. He's not been good, but he's not gonna figure it out from the bench unless maybe they have some secret formula where he will. But I don't know.
I'd love it if they had that formula. Give it to him right away. Give it to him as soon as possible so we can get things going. I think this might have more to do with Nathan Lucas than we might realize, because in the game on Saturday, it was Nathan Lucas in the 5-hole, which is typically where we would have seen Barger there, if not in the 2 spot. And I wonder if having 2 left-handed hitters on the bench, whether it's Barger, Sanchez, and Lucas, and John Schneider trying to find his way to manage all of them, means one of them is going to sit more often than not. And that might have been a bit of, hey, Barger's struggling, we need to get Lucas in there more. But I think that might be part of the reason, too, why he's not playing as much.
Yeah, maybe. But I don't think, so I think John Schneider looks at it and he's like, we need to score some runs. Nathan Lucas has a higher floor. Nathan Lucas, he's going to put the ball in play. You know exactly what you're going to get from him. He's going to swing outside the zone too much. He's going to refuse to walk, even if the pitcher tries to walk him. But he's going to put the ball in play, and he's going to play decent defense. Addison Barger, he's either going to, at this point, it looks like he's either going to hit a homer or he's going to strike out. It looks like Addison just needs to see one go over the fence for him to settle into the season at this point. That's what he looks like he's trying to do. And in a game where you lose by 1 run and you only score 1, I kind of like taking a chance with Addison Barger, who can maybe do it. And I guess he did get an at-bat later in the game, and he took his chance, and he swung and missed wildly at a pitch over his head. But
yeah,
you know what I'm trying to say? I don't know. I think what Addison Barger brings when he's clicking is a lot more than what Nathan Lucas brings when he is.
Yeah, and I agree. And take the day off tomorrow because of the rain. The game is canceled, pushed till Friday for them. Take the day off tomorrow, get the travel day, go to Chicago, maybe playing on the road, and just reset a little bit. See that first one go. See that first line drive touch a little grass or something. Get that monkey off your back, and then let's just get going. Because Addison Barger can roll, and I really still believe in the talent he has there, and I think it will continue once he gets started.
Yeah, I think that rain out tomorrow is sneakily very, very good. It's a good thing. I think we all need a little bit of a break. I think the Jays are not going to have a happy flight tonight, and I think a day off, a day away from the field, I think it'll do them some good. I think they don't deserve it, but I think they need it.
What has John Schneider said at stretches last year? He said there are good off days and there are bad off days. There are the days where you really need it to rest the bullpen to get guys right. And then there are the bad ones where you're really rolling and you don't really want to see the off day. I think this would classify as a very good off day for the Toronto Blue Jays. Rest the bullpen a little bit, give those hitters a little bit of a mental reset, get out of the routines a little bit, get on the road, have to go to an airplane, have to sleep in a hotel tonight, and see if that can just change things ever so slightly going on the road.
Yeah. Okay. So me and you were talking as we were watching the end of this game, and we both agreed it's too early for the George Springer conversation.
Yes.
And then we saw his at bat in the bottom of the 10th inning with a runner on second base and nobody out. And we saw him pop up on a pitch that definitely, maybe a strike, but probably not a strike. George Springer's off to an awful start. He's 4 for 25 and he's hit 2 homers, but the at bats otherwise, have just been terrible. He's swinging at way too many pitches that he shouldn't be swinging at. He's chasing a bunch. I didn't pull up the numbers on it. I guess I can go look. But what have you seen from him that you're not liking?
Yeah, so a few things. George Springer's breakout season last year was really in the fact that he started swinging hard. He was a lot more aggressive at the pitches you knew he could do damage with. And so far this season, it seems like he's kind of lost that a little bit. There was a couple at bats today. Remember the half little check swing he took that was fouled off into the gloves. His strikeout, his second to last AB was a little, he didn't swing full 100%. This was not the George Springer we got used to seeing in the second half of last season. So I think he needs that little reset as well to really get back into the things that really worked well for him. I don't know if he's pressing a little bit to try to do things a little better or whatnot, or knowing that the Blue Jays haven't scored enough runs and he's a leader and he needs to be the one to score a bunch of runs. But striking out way too much, not swinging at good pitches has been the issue so far for George.
Yeah. So like he's whiffing the exact same amount as he was last year, but what I'm seeing is the chase percentage. Last year he was awesome. I don't know, as we know, an unreal season, 24% chase percentage. This season, like 29.5. So like that's like a 33% increase. That's a huge increase in chase percentage year over year. And that, to me, that's an approach thing, which that was the big thing of why he was able to correct himself and get back to being George Springer, having such a good year last year. Is the approach was better. And all of a sudden he's chasing, he's trying to do too much, and he's trying to be someone. Well, he's someone he is, like the guy that gets the big swing, but he looks like he just wants it so bad. He's trying too hard. Like, is that what you're seeing?
Yeah, he's swinging just too much. Like you just mentioned, the chase rate's up 9%, give or take. The swing rate as a whole is up just shy of 10%. The swinging strike rate itself has risen up just shy of 4%. Like, it's just, I think George Springer needs to get back into seeing more pitches, really lock in now. Don't try to do the hero. If you fall down 1-2 in the count because the pitcher's made some good strikes, so be it, right? Get back in there. Yeah, I think you're hurting more team more often than you are helping by swinging at the rate he is swinging right now.
Yeah, he's just been, it's just not great. I don't know. In your leadoff spot, like he sets the tone. Like, I don't know. I wish I had more analysis other than like, it's also too early for us to do these conversations. Like,
and that's the thing. That's the thing, right? With data like this, we can't really see trends. It's 6 games into the season, right? So it's really hard to look at some of these things because one good week where he turns us around and then all of a sudden you're just back to normal and this is long forgotten about. Like if this happens in the middle of June, we're not really thinking about it too much, right?
No, absolutely not. And guess what? Like they're going to Chicago to play the White Sox. George could go 7 for 12 in that series, 7 for 13, and with 2 homers, 3 homers, and all of a sudden you're like, George Springer is going to win MVP this season, and you're like, Unk still got it. Like that's the conversation we're having if that's what he does. And it's the same for any of these guys, right? Like especially the hitters. Like it takes one series to get hot and get rolling, and it'll be okay, and it's going to be okay. I can't promise you, but I feel pretty confident that it'll be okay. Just a stinky series overall, and a really frustrating one.
Yeah, and I trust George enough as a hitter, too, that he can turn it around. He's a smart man. He's been around the block a ton. I think he knows what he needs to do. And it's just like I said earlier, going back to this off day to get up there and get going will be okay. Do you have any thoughts on Springer? Because I want to touch on Varsho a little bit here, too.
Yeah, well, we can do Varsho. Not good from him either. 3 for 18 on the season, right? Like just none of the outfielders, the left-handed hitting outfielders have just been like a complete nothing for you, and it's supposed to be a strength of this team.
Yes, and the spring that Varsho had, and like with the talks we had made about his swing decisions and his swing change coming into the season, made us really thinking that he was going to be due for this monster impact season. But he is having a lot of the exact same issues that George Springer is having. He's been swinging way too much. He's been chasing at pitches outside of the zone. I think he's second on the team in swinging strike rate behind Kazuma Okamoto, which we'll touch on later here as well. But it's kind of more the same. I think the Blue Jays need to get back into a more patient approach, let the pitcher fall behind, and then really ambush those pitches. That's what gave the Blue Jays so much success last year. They don't want to lose that identity this early in the season.
Yeah. Oh, I want to look at the walk rate on the Blue Jays right now, because I can guarantee you it is worse than it was last year. Keep talking, Jesse. Let me pull this up for you.
Well, I mean, I have it up here right now. Vlad is leading the walk rate, and we can talk a little bit about Vlad, but there are 3 players who didn't have a walk at all coming into this game, and that was Miles Straw, Ernie Clement, Davis Schneider. And Tyler Heineman is second on the team in walk rate. So what does that tell you right here coming in about this team?
Well, so let me tell you, the Blue Jays are actually walking more in 2026 than they did in 2025 by 3%.
Wow.
Would you believe that? That's crazy.
I guess the Blue Jays weren't built on walks last year. They had a lot of like Ernie Clements and Nathan Lucas, guys who don't really walk and who make contact, especially last year. They made a lot of contact early in counts, which will limit your walk rate, I suppose. But yeah, and Bo Bichette was probably a big reason for that too. Didn't really walk much, but still, yeah, that does surprise me a little bit because it doesn't feel like we are when we're watching these games. And that's the big thing.
Yeah. Well, okay, so you want to talk walks and singles? I think it's the perfect segue to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Um,
Yes.
I t- this is not the aircraft carrier that we got to see in the playoffs and in the World Baseball Classic. What happened to Vlad? Why is he all of a sudden he walks in singles man again? I don't understand how we get into the regular season and all of a sudden like the approach changes to I want to pass the baton. He's getting hit by pitches on the foot. Umpire's not calling it. There's runners on second and third and less than 2 out. Like, dude, you should like this is the time. Like, score a couple runs, like cash a couple RBIs, a couple stakes for you, like right on the bases. But he's like begging John Schneider to review it so he can like take his base. Like, what are we doing?
Right. And I get as a fan, you really want to see Vladimir Guerrero Jr. do the damage. Like he's the run producer. He's number 3. He's the $500 million man. I get it. You want him to be the guy to knock in those runs. Vlad has kind of had a shift, though, about being like this team-oriented guy, taking his walk, moving the baton, instead of playing for just the 2 runs he get on base and hopes the guy behind him can hit a big home run or whatnot. But, you know, I thought it was very interesting late in this game in extras when the Rockies actually chose to pitch to Vlad instead of intentionally walking him and go to Kazuma Okamoto there. Means maybe the Rockies aren't as scared as Vlad as maybe they should be, which usually, you know, the other team will tell you how they feel about your team. And I thought that was quite interesting. And going after Vlad the way he did too, and he didn't come through. So it makes the Rockies look smart there.
Well,
what was the
I
quote?
will.
Oh, go ahead.
Well,
Yeah,
I'll just say like the Rockies look smart based on the result, but he did hit a 108 mile an hour line drive with a 16-degree launch angle right at the center fielder. Like,
Right.
so no, not the right choice by the Rockies. Actually, very, very bad process there, but it paid off for them because it was right at the center fielder and not in a gap.
Hey, you talk about results. That maybe that was just how they played it perfectly. Put Brenton Doyle in the right spot, and who knows?
Yeah.
What was the quote that John Schneider gave pregame? They mentioned it early in the broadcast that he thinks Vlad has been just like quietly productive. I don't know if that was the exact quote, but
I don't
you look at
remember the quote either. But
but you look at the stat line, like it's a 171 WRC plus coming into the game today. And it doesn't feel like that, I know, because it has been walks and singles. He hasn't had a home run yet, but you know, he's getting on base at a 545 clip coming into the game today. And I think that's what John Schneider likes from Vlad.
yeah, I guess, but I want to see Vlad do some damage, Randy. Like he's got a 781 OPS at this point through 6 games.
Yeah.
Like that's what happens when you doesn't have an extra base hit yet.
Mm-hmm.
How does he not have an extra base hit yet?
Especially from the guy in your 3 spot in your order, you really need to see the Blue Jays start to get some more extra base hits.
Just a little bit of slug, please. Like that's all I want. Like,
all right. Did we want to finish out our thoughts on some of the extra hitters here before moving on to some of the bullpen arms and other position players? Because
yeah, let's get through this. Well, we have to do Kazuma Okamoto because
yes, exactly.
The results. So we're talking Max Scherzer. All I care about is results. No, with Okamoto, I care a lot more about process, especially at this point in the season. And the results have been really good. He's got 2 homers. He's 7 for 24, but like he's got 11 strikeouts. Like if he's not getting a hit, he's striking out. Like his BABIP has to be insane right now, and he's hitting the ball hard when he does hit it. But like so the biggest issue that I'm seeing from him, and it's not the fastballs. Last time we talked, I was really worried about the fastballs. I saw the way Severino attacked him. I was like, oh no. It seems like he adjusted very quickly to that and is cheating to fastballs because now he's whiffing at 75% of the breaking balls that he's swinging at.
Yikes.
3/4 of the breaking balls that Kazuma Okamoto swings at, he is swinging and missing. That's not sustainable.
Mm-hmm. You can look at this as one of 2 ways. You can look at it the way that you are presenting here, where like, yeah, this is yikes. This is a major red flag. Pitchers are going to figure this out. They're going to attack him with breaking balls. Or you can look at it in the more positive direction, where the book on him was kind of power him with those fastballs like Severino did early. And then Kazuma Okamoto kind of made a little bit of adjustment. We saw him take a 99-mile-per-hour fastball off Chase Dolander out to center field for a bomb in game 1 of this series. So then maybe he's making that adjustment there. Then maybe you could look at it, okay, well, now they're attacking him with curveballs. Maybe he can slowly make an adjustment here. It's going to be one of those 2 things. I don't think it's a struggle, or it's not an accident to see him struggle against spin early on. I don't know if many people in Japan really throw these big sweepers, these big breaking balls like he's seeing in the major leagues. So maybe there will be an adjustment period, but that is a massive red flag. And if he doesn't learn how to either recognize or handle spin better, then he's going to start to fall and be a bit of a detriment here.
Yeah, and it's not even just the spin. Like he's also swinging and missing at like fastballs still as well. Like
Mhm.
he's not swinging and missing just far too much at this point. Which has been excusable at this point because the results have been really good. Like, but he's been very like 3 true outcome like ish at this point. So I don't know. I'm not. I'm happy with the results. I'm gonna take the results. I think he's awesome. I think he's got, as the kids would say, like so much aura. I think he's actually like one of the coolest players on the team.
Yes.
But I'm wary. Like it seems like a lot of people have gotten very, very excited very early based on results, and there are a lot of things that I'm seeing that are very scary.
Yeah, like the 187 WRC plus, fantastic. This was coming into the game today. Looks
Yeah.
fantastic, was very good. Then you see the 39.1% strikeout rate. Yikes, that's not so good. And then you can kind of dive even deeper and you can see more of that stuff, like the 600 slugging percentage, fantastic. The only Blue Jay to have hits in all 6 games of the season, fantastic. And then you
Mm-hmm.
see some of the other stuff in the hood where it's like, he can't really, he seems kind of passive in big moments. He doesn't really seem to be able to like really lock in and make that barrel contact when he really needs to. And it's like, well, okay, so what is it? We're still in a wait and see approach from Kazuma Okamoto going forward.
Yeah, and it's too early to be doing this conversation, but like the runners in scoring position stuff with the Jays has just been like
Yes.
miserable so far. I think they're like 2 for 9 with the bases loaded or something like that with 2 walks. Like they have as many walks as hits with the bases loaded. Or no, they're 1 for 9. Sorry. Like
Yeah. Yikes.
so bad. Like it's like that's the kind of thing that like when you have a really good team, but they can't hit with runners in scoring position, like that's the 2023 team all over again. And that's the kind of thing like early in the season I'm looking out for. And the key is early in the season. It's early, like the Mike Wilner line. It's early. Nothing matters. It's early. But it's just the kind of things like when you lose a series to the Rockies, we can overreact a little bit, right?
It's baseball, Owen. Nothing really truly does matter altogether.
Well,
But there are, like, historically throughout baseball, like I think it's 3 ways that a team can disappoint you when they're set to exceed expectations. One of them is the 1-run game differential, how you handle in those 1-run games. And Jays lost a 1-run game here in this series. They didn't win a 1-run game in this series. So there's that. There's a bullpen that disappoints you, which, that's kind of disappointing the Blue Jays so far in the season. And then it's not hitting the ball with runners in scoring position, which has been exactly the case. So if those 3 things are happening, and it looks like we're seeing signs of all 3 of those things happening, it could be a way if those trends continue, it could be a way that the Blue Jays disappoint relative to expectations on the season.
yeah, I'm not ready to say the season is a disappointment. It will not know that the season is a disappointment until like September, probably. So it's fine. Like at this point, just move on. Hopefully the Mariners beat the Yankees today and like everything will be okay. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? I know you wanted to talk bullpen. So let's do it. Not many positives except for Jeff Hoffman looked a lot better. Jeff Hoffman last year was awful in non-save situations, and he looked really good today. Fairly dominant last night as well. So what do you think he's doing differently, or do you think it's just like regressing to the mean, like back to what he should be doing, getting the results that he deserves?
I think the real answer here, Owen, is Jeff Hoffman has just always been nasty. He's always been this good. Like he's always had these strikeout numbers and whatnot. He's always had this in him. It's just always been the home runs. And you can see what's happening here when he's not giving up home runs. He's been nasty. Now I think he's 5th in baseball out of relievers in strikeout rate coming into this game. Still hasn't walked a batter, by the way, as Jeff Hoffman, which is all very good stuff. And, now on the whole, he's given up just 2 hits, I believe it is. Pitched 3 games, 3 innings. Stranded every single runner that's got on base against him. Is just a whopping 50% home run to fly ball rate, which will not continue going forward for Jeff Hoffman. So I think he's good. I've always thought he's good. I thought he kind of got a little bit unlucky with the home run issue last year. I really do think that'll bounce back to normal. And I think the Blue Jays have their guy in Jeff Hoffman. Like, you've got to use him. I do wish, though, Owen, they would have let him pitch a little more today. I understand why they didn't, but I would have rather seen Hoffman go at least even one more batter before bringing Little in.
It's April 1st, man. You just can't. And I agree.
Yes.
If you really needed to win this game, I think if they're playing a division rival, like this is the Yankees or the Red Sox in town, yeah, Jeff Hoffman's coming back out for the 10th. But it's just it's way too early in the season. And you saw them like Oh my goodness. I'm gonna try and not use a like sexual innuendo way to say this, but like they blew Jeff Hoffman early last year. Like
Yeah.
they did it like against the Angels, and they were doing it like every week. He was going 2 innings and he'd get the ninth and the 10th. Like it's not sustainable, and it was not sustainable. He got tired early last year, and it ended up burning them later on. And I think later on this season, like once he's more established and built up, yeah, let's see it. I agree. But until then, like you can't do that on April 1st.
Yeah. So on a scale of 1 to 10, then your worry level for Jeff Hoffman after 1 week into the season is what?
Well, it's exactly where it was at coming into the season, which is like a 5, a 6. Like I know who Jeff Hoffman is. I know what he does. Yeah, it hasn't
Yeah,
moved.
I think I'm a little less than that. I'm feeling pretty confident about Jeff Hoffman. I'm going to go 2.5. He'll give up the odd blown save because he's given up a home run or whatnot, but I think the stuff is just so nasty, and the Blue Jays really don't have anybody else like him in their bullpen. So I'm not
Jeff
as worried.
Hoffman comes in the game and you're like, oh, like I'm good. Like I'm gonna kick my feet up. Like, oh, maybe go grab a beer. Like what? Like I think you're the only Blue Jays fan who feels that.
That is the problem, because you just know at any second it can flip, it can go, right? And that is the issue. So like you're up by 3 and all of a sudden 2 men get on, you're worried that big fly is coming. I get that. But ultimately, like I will bet on the stuff more often than not that he will be able to get out of that jam. And I understand that won't always be the case. And it'll look really bad when inevitably he does give up that big 3-run home run. But for the most part, when he comes in, I'm feeling more confident than I'm not that he'll get the job done.
Okay, how worried are we about that Tommy Nance outing today? Because he is a guy that like I think he had 7 walks in like 30 something innings last year, according to the broadcast. Like really, really good for the Blue Jays. And then as soon as he gets put in these like leverage spots, all of a sudden the lights get really bright on him. And he like I think he had 2 4-pitch walks in that inning, gave up a run, like blew the lead, like really, really bad. And this is a guy that John Schneider's trusting in the 8th inning. Would you have rather seen Tyler Rogers later on in the 8th inning and Nance in the 7th? I don't know. Like, luckily, Fluharty bailed him out. Obviously, not mattering in the end because Brendan Little and the Blue Jays unable to score runs in the extra innings. But, anyways, Tommy Nance, what'd you think?
Yeah, first of all, shout out Mason Fluharty. Fantastic. Kid is wonderful. He's probably going to be easily moving back into that circle of trust into the back end of that bullpen for the Blue Jays. Love that. Tommy Nance, I thought was quite interesting. I would have gone Nance first, then Rogers in that inning, especially because I believe it was 9-1-2 coming up for Tommy Nance in the 8. Maybe it was 8-9-1. But you had to deal with the threat of the Rockies order coming up, and I would have rather seen Nance come in earlier to face the definite like mid to bottom half of that Rockies lineup. I think though he just maybe earned the trust of John Schneider. He was quite good in his first 2 appearances before this. So maybe he had thought that, well, he can come in and do it again. But yeah, those 4-pitch walks, Owen, they're devastating. They hurt, especially right away. And you saw Pete Walker sprint out of the dugout right away after Tommy Nance walked that first one. And whenever you see that happen, that's not a good sign. You just simply didn't have it today.
Yeah, well, terrible day to not have it when you're clinging to a 1-run lead in the 8th inning. Like, I feel like that's just can't be the excuse. But like at the same time, like who else would you have brought out there? Like this is a bullpen like already 6 games into the season is in shambles. And a lot of that has to do with Cody Ponce, who I guess we have to talk about next because Cody Ponce going down like 2 innings into that start, like really disappointing a guy. And he looked really good. Like fastball was looking really good. He was looking nasty. Like the splitter wasn't really commanding it that well, but like I could see the vision with it. Like he was kind of settling into that start. And all of a sudden, a little PFP comes off the mound, bobbles a ball, and sprains his ACL. He's currently getting a second opinion, and they're determining whether or not he needs surgery. And it sounds like if he needs surgery, like that could be his season. And what a disappointing, like, first of all, gutted for Cody Ponce and like gutted for the Jays. Like, they were relying on this guy. This is a guy they gave $10 million to pitch this year, and they might not see him again outside of 2 innings.
Yeah, for what it's worth, he did look real good in those first 2 starts. I think he had 15 swinging strikes at that point for Cody Ponce. Like it was unbelievable in that point. I could be wrong on that stat, but that's what I had in my notes. So maybe I just read it wrong. But he was very good in that first little bit there. Remember too, before he did that PFP and injured his knee, he did trip, like he had a balk. He throwing off the mound too. So maybe something in his knee was a little weak there, and then it ended up just really coming out there. going forward. So that's tough for Cody Ponce. Look, we've had that conversation all spring where what are the Blue Jays going to do? They have too many starting pitchers, not enough spots. And it's like, well, they'll always find a way. And this is not the way we thought it was going to happen. But the Blue Jays, like you said, we're really relying on him to come in here and put together a good, strong outing because they're going to rely on him. And now it's one of the big moves the Blue Jays made in the offseason to push them over the edge. We're going to get basically nothing from for the course of this whole season, which will put a lot of pressure on the rest of the guys to perform. We will need suddenly Shane Bieber to show that he's healthy and effective when he gets here. But Jose Barrios is going to make some starts at some point this year. He needs to prove that he can put all that bad years behind him and come out and shove when he does shove. It puts a lot of pressure on guys like Kevin Gausman and Dylan Cease to keep doing what they are doing. And it's a lot to ask for this Blue Jays team right now.
Yeah, and first of all, you were right. Good shout on that. 15 swinging strikes for Cody Ponce through 2 1/3 innings against the Rockies. That's nasty stuff. Like, yeah, you were right. He was looking really good. And it sucks because like Trey Savage's role all of a sudden is not going to be just like the rookie that we ease in and get to use him where we want to use him and give him favorable matchups. You don't get to do that anymore because he's now like legitimately belonging in this starting rotation based on the names that are left. And you're in a scary spot because, oh my God, like knock on wood, but we have to talk about it. Like, what if a Kevin Gausman or Dylan Cease goes down, or like even an Eric Lauer goes down at this point? Like, what do you do? All of a sudden the thumb thing comes up again for Max Scherzer. Like, we're talking like Adam Mako as like a regular in the rotation, Laz Estrada as a regular in the rotation. Like, that's where we are at this point in the season, which if you said that to us in March, like we'd have laughed you off the stage. Like, insane that this is what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, I mean, hey, baseball is wild. Remember the first year of last season, Easton Lucas was getting a couple starts for the Toronto Blue Jays early in the year. We had to get Jose Urena and Spencer Turnbull. It's like this stuff is going to happen. And I guess if you're looking for the positive, you'd rather it happen early than later in the season. There's still lots of times to rebound and recover. But yeah, just absolutely gutted for Cody Ponce too. And like you could tell from just listening to him and like the way he was going off the field and whatnot, like you could feel the joy he had of finally being back on the mound, and having that stripped and taken away from him is absolutely gut wrenched. I remember I was looking through videos of all these sports doctors that are trying to analyze how his knee looked and thought, maybe it's not that bad. And it's just, we're grasping at straws for positive news on him. We'll see what what's Neil Elatrosh says. We'll see what he says. But anytime you're visiting him, it's not a good sign. This could be significant for Ponce.
Yeah, man. And hopefully the road to recovery is just like rehab. And even then, like John Schneider's like, yeah, we're hoping it's rehab and it'll be extensive rehab. And like that sounds like at least a couple months, like at bare minimum.
Yeah.
And
maybe he comes back at the end by the trade deadline. You can use him out of your bullpen or something. He's got filthy stuff, and maybe that's the positive outlook we can look at here.
But so disappointing. Like a guy that was supposed to play a huge role is all of a sudden just like that. He's gone. He's got nothing for you, and you're one less arm deep, and it really sucks. Jesse, you got much else here, or are we ready to wrap this thing up?
A few more small notes I just wanted to mention here. In terms of defense, I did like some of the things we saw from Ernie Clement and Andres Jimenez up the middle. They are fantastic there. In the game today, David Schneider caught that ball in left field. That was against the wall, called a foul. Just want to say he caught it. That was in the glove. That was good. And a lot of stolen bases against Alejandro Kirk in this series as well. I don't really have any analysis on that, but it caught my attention that the Rockies were running quite a bit on Kirk. Do you have a thought on the defense there?
No, I don't have a thought on it other than the fact that I would like it if teams would stop running on Alejandro Kirk. I would think that would make it better for me, happier. But yeah, no, I don't think that's good.
I don't think that's good either. And plus Kirk too, we didn't talk about him in our slumping hitters, but he's only got that one hit, that big home run is his only hit he's had so far in this season. I thought he might have two, but I know it's he was hitting 083, so something quite bad for Kirk. He also challenged a pitch today too at the plate that caught full strike zone. Like not even a bit of it touched the ball. So I think that's Alejandro Kirk kind of looking for something a little bit, kind of pressing a little bit too. So that caught my attention as well. Do you have a thought on Kirk before I run through my last few notes here?
No, it needs to be better than that. That's like, oh my God, it's exhausting. How is nobody hitting well right now?
especially against some bad pitching too, right? Like the
Yeah,
Colorado Rockies and the Athletics aren't really known for their pitching staff. We'll see. Maybe the Blue Jays can only face good pitching. Who knows?
hopefully.
But we'll see what happens there. Just some like kind of minor stuff too. Angel Bastardo is officially back with the Red Sox. That move had officially gone through. We mentioned earlier tomorrow's game against the White Sox has been postponed. They will now play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which is things. Jays fans ate 92,000 hot dogs, Owen. You and I were both in attendance at that building. How many did you eat?
I only had 4 hot dogs. I played it conservative. I didn't want to like make myself look disgusting in front of my girlfriend. I had to be mature about it.
Yeah. Okay. You are a better man than I. I went in with the plan of having to eat 3. I went to the hot dog porch. I grabbed one of those signs. I wrote the number 14 on it. And then the person at the hot dog proceeded to give the 2 of us 14 hot dogs. So she did her part. She ate 3. I ate the other 11 and not feeling so great this morning because of it. But we did that. That's enough hot dog talk. Some minor league stuff came out, and we don't have to roll through this, but minor league rosters were all announced throughout the Blue Jay system. A couple surprising, I say, placements for some of our top prospects. Arjun Namala starting the year in Vancouver, where he finished last year. Kind of need to see a big season from Namala. Johnny King, though, got the promotion to Vancouver, and he will start there with Jojo Parker going to Low A Dunedin, as well as Brandon Barriera, who's back and healthy. Looks good. And New Hampshire gets some new names too. Sean Keys, Cutter Coffee, Adrian Pinto, Javon Coleman. Any of those prospects, Owen, you're interested in watching so far this season?
Well, I'm interested in watching all of them. I think Namala, is the biggest one for me. Like that's the number one guy I've got to see. Like, what do you have for me? It's because it's time. It's time on him, right? Yeah, him and Johnny King. Walk less, people please. Johnny King as we get a little bit older. Those are the biggest 2. Like obviously we'll be keeping tabs. Anybody who gets off to hot starts, I'll be excited about.
Yes, and I will be paying attention to our friend Simon Lee, who's been on the show before, who covers a lot of Blue Jays prospect stuff. Whenever he says he likes somebody, I take note because I trust that man when it comes to how things look on the farm. Owen, upcoming series against the White Sox. Want to just hit me with like a pick to click or a prediction or something you want to see from the Blue Jays this series?
Well, so we're getting the Eric Lauer versus Anthony K start in the second game of that
Love
series, and I'm very excited to watch the Blue Jays just destroy Anthony K, former Blue Jays legend. Shout out to Anthony K, but I think that is a name that the Blue Jays they should really score a lot of runs against him, and I would love to see if the Blue Jays could kind of take advantage of some bad pitching.
Yeah, Dylan Cease revenge game against the Chicago White Sox too in their home opener, and I think it would just be fitting. A room full of White Sox fans will be the biggest crowd they draw all season just to watch Dylan Cease shut him down for 7 innings. I think would be fantastic, and ultimately the bats got to get going, and without a doubt. So I'd love to see that as well.
100%, man. Okay, so yeah, Cease and then Lauer and then big old question mark. Maybe Laz Estrada did not get into today's game, so. I don't know. That Sunday game is going to be a question mark. That 5th spot in rotation might be a question mark for a while. Other than that, thank you to everybody who checked out this episode of the Jays Center podcast. Going live after the series would have been a lot more fun if the Jays gave us some more positive stuff to talk about, but it always is fun to go live. Check us out on Twitter. Check us out at jcenter.com at the website. We got a lot of cool stuff going on YouTube, a lot of cool articles coming up. And other than that, give us 5 stars, like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed. And Jesse, we'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much for joining me.
Cheers, boys. Go Jays. And hopefully our next episode, Owen, we can have a much more positive, upbeat tone after a win against the White Sox here.
Yeah, you would think a series win against the White Sox is inbound for our Blue Jays, right?
I thought it was against the Rockies too, so we'll see.
All right. We'll talk to you soon.